welcome to this instructional how to use the MakerBot located at UWF instructional video. Before we begin, there are 4 things that you need in order to use the MakerBot. First, you need access to the MakerBot itself. Next, you need an SD card, which actually there's one associated with the MakerBot, so you don't need one. However, if you want to acquire one, make sure it's these type of things and not one of these type of things. You want the full card, not one of the micro SDs. Next, we'll need the MakerBot software located at makerbot.com/makerware and an STL file from thingiverse.com. Thingiverse. Now, before we continue further, there's two things that I'm assuming you already know how to do. First is how to install programs on your computer. The second is how to find downloaded files from the internet on your computer. Now, if we go back up here, we see that we still need the MakerBot software. So if we go to the MakerBot website, which is right here, it'll bring you to this website. Now, once you're here, you need to select the platform you're using, whether it's Windows, Linux, or Mac. I'm using Windows, so I would do that and hit download. And then it would send it to my download folder. Except I already have it, so I'm just going to continue from here. Once you have the file downloaded, you then install the program. Once it's installed, and it takes 5-ish minutes, you will open up the Makerware software. And ta-da! This is what the MakerWare software looks like. Oop, that zoomed it out. Now, this plate here represents the printing surface for the MakerBot itself. It is the same size as the MakerBot one. Well, it's representative the same size as the MakerBot. The lines here, tilt a little bit, are the maximum edges of the printing material surface. So if you got something that was beyond this area, you could not actually print it. Right now there's nothing selected, so it's just a blank slate. So let's go find something to print. And we need to go to thingiverse.com and find an STL file. Okay, so Thingiverse is right here. This is what it looks like. They have a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff on here. And let's see, let's go through gadgets. Let's see. Anything stand out? Let's see, iPhone cases, Samsung, looks like egg for Easter. Let's see. Let's use this search bar here. Let's see, bone. Everyone loves bones. Here's a scapula, dog tag, fish thingy, dog bone cookie cutter. Well, let's look at this fish. It's a cute little fish. On anything, you will have a download this thing, and you're looking for STL files. Looks like we have 2 options available, and I'm just gonna go with the first one here. Fishbone, and then you can save it. And then you can either, depending on which web browser you're using, I'm currently using Chrome. I have it set up so it shows my downloads down here. I can just open it, and it should. Yes. Immediately go into Makerware and bring this up. And look, now there's a fish. Well, the skeleton of a fish. Very comical fish. And now we can look around using look, which is defaultly set to. We can move all around. Ooh. That arrow there points to the front. So now we would be looking at it like how we'd be looking at the machine. Now let's say we wanted to move it for some reason. Move it anywhere on the surface. It's a bit hard to move forward and backwards, but left and right is pretty easy. Let's move it more towards the center. Turn it. Scale it. So click it, can make it huge or really tiny. If we double click scale, come on you. Guess it's a single click. You can reset scale and it will move it back to its original size. You can also do the maximum size, where it will then take up the entire thing. Next thing you want to remember, if you want to look around right now, you can't because you're still on scale. Make sure that you click look and then drag around. Otherwise, if you're still on scale and you go, oh, let's see how it looks from the other side, and you click and drag and suddenly, oop, it is shrinking and stuff because you're still on scale. So go back to look and, oh yeah, that's a pretty big honking fish. Scale again, we can see the X, Y, and Z axis. Looks like it is 243-ish millimeters long, 104 millimeters wide, and 30 millimeters tall. So, pretty good size. Let's just reset. Normally it's only 10 high and 34 AU1. So cool. Let's look at something else here. Open, discard those changes, and let's look at this. This is a bust, and it looks pretty cool. Let's go back to look. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. Cool, let's, I actually have printed is something similar to this, so I'll show you how to print something that looks like this. File, export. At this point, make sure that the SD card is in your computer or that you have an adapter plugged into a USB port that can read the SD card. So we'll go to export file, export for. Okay. I'm currently getting a service error. Normally, it's set to export to file, and you can export for, and it will say, I forgot what it normally says there, but it's the default option. And then you can select low, medium, high. Supports, build plastic support to hold up some part of the model. That's for things that would be like, I think the hair. Can't drag it around right now. There's probably the back of the hair there. Remember, it can only build on top of itself, so once it starts getting to the back of the bun here where it hangs by itself, it needs something to support it as it builds. Now low quality will give you something that has lines or is not really that, it's still good looking, but it's not good. However, it does print the fastest. High quality gives you the slowest printing speed. However, it will be the smoothest, look the nicest, so if you need it for something professional, you probably want high. However, for most of the needs, low and medium splits the difference between printing speed and the quality of the print. So once we do that, you would hit export and then select your SD drive. My computer apparently is on the fritz lately, so I can't do that. And now we can actually look at what the MakerBot looks like when it's.
So this is the 3D printer itself. It is a plastic injector, I guess you could call it, that moves on a single plane while the plastic beneath it will drop away and it'll let it build up from the base. This is it creating the base now. As it goes along, it creates almost lattice work on the inside to help support the outside hardened plastic. And shortly here I'll be moving the camera a little bit to get it closer in. Yep. but it's moving along at normal speed right now. In a little bit, I'll bump it up to a times 8 so it can progress a little bit quicker, because this took about 16 minutes to print. It's printing a bust right now, not the same bust that I was showing before, slightly different, from the sci-fi genre, so hopefully you can guess it as it's building it. But I'll just let it go along right now and you can see what it looks like as it's printing. Do keep note that the higher the resolution and the larger the object created, the longer time it's going to need to take. Originally, I had this going at something that was about twice as large, and it would have taken about 400 minutes to print. So keep that in mind when you're creating it, that the size really does matter. There's the chin, I believe, forming now. And the warning hot surface, it really is a hot surface. It's heated to about 230 degrees Celsius, so you definitely do not want to touch it. When you are done with it, you'll see at the end that there's a little plastic bit that's still hanging on. You just cut that off, and you might need to pop whatever it is you have created off using a scalpel, just to kind of free it from the base, as well as going off to the left of the screen, the little plastic bit that the printer had left behind as it goes there. It does that with just about anything it makes, so that's nothing to be worried about. Hopefully you've been able to guess who that is, and yes, that is Admiral Ackbar from Star Wars. Congratulations if you got it right. I hope you have found this video to be informative, and I hope that it helps you use the 3D printer in the future should you choose to use it. Thank you for watching.